Turret jam!
Reverse!
June 22nd, 1941. Border near Grodno before sunrise, the ground trembled. Not from thunder, but from tanks. Germany's Operation Barbarossa had begun. 3 million Axis soldiers surging into Soviet territory. At the frontier near Grodno, a forgotten Soviet outpost braced for annihilation. The T-26 tank, an outdated, thin-skinned tank from the 1930s, sat like a relic among Titans. Lieutenant Pyotr Malkin and his 3-man crew listened to the distant rumble of Panzer's tanks. Radio operator Ilya gripping his headset.
They're coming fast. Too fast.
In the distance, a dust cloud grew. A column of Panzer III tanks and 4 tanks barreling toward them. Malkin knew they didn't stand a chance in open combat.
We don't outrun them. We outsmart them. Prepare for ambush.
They buried the T-26 tank in sand up to the tracks, camouflaging it under broken trees. The crew waited, silent in sweltering heat. The first Panzer rolled past, then 5 more.
Not yet.
As the 10th tank passed, Malkin barked.
Now fire.
The T-26's tank 45mm gun roared. One Panzer erupted into flames, another crippled. Confused Germans fired blindly. The ambush had begun. Smoke and chaos flooded the forest clearing. The T-26 tank fired again. Another Panzer hit, but now the enemy reacted. Tracer rounds sliced through the trees. German infantry flanked the hill. A shell slammed near the turret, shaking the entire chassis.
Turret jam! We're blind!
Reverse!
Pull us down the slope!
The T-26 lurched backward, screeching as metal scraped on stone. The old engine whined but obeyed. They watched German tank commanders barking orders pointing toward their position. They're spreading out. We'll be flanked in minutes. Malkin scanned the terrain. An idea sparked.
Through the orchard, narrow pass. Only 1 tank at a time.
The T-26 tank rumbled downhill, weaving through burnt trees and corpses. They reached a choke point between stone walls. Perfect. Alexei reloaded the last armor-piercing round. A Panzer charged in. The T-26 tank fired first. A direct hit to the track. It buckled. German crew bailed as flames engulfed it. Another followed, then another. Word of the resistance spread among retreating Soviet units' tanks.
Someone's holding the line with a T-26 tank? That's madness.
But madness was working. Behind the Soviet units' tanks' army lines, civilians took shelter in churches and cellars. Some watched in awe as the battered green T-26 tank fired again and again, smoke pouring from its engine. Pyotr's hands bled from recoil burns. Alexei coughed blood from smoke inhalation. The interior stank of oil and fear.
Ammo's down to 4 rounds. 2 HE, 2 AP.
They held the orchard for 7 hours, crippling 8 enemy tanks, slowing the entire division's flanking maneuver. German Panzer Commandant Franz Kretschmann personally scouted the resistance.
1 tank? That's it? Ridiculous.
But his division had to halt, diverting time, men, and fuel. Inside the T-26, morale wavered.
Why haven't we died yet? Because this rusted T-26 tank has more guts than they do.
Outside, a tank destroyer crept into view, an 88mm gun gleaming in the sun. They were outmatched, but they weren't done. Not yet. The trees exploded around them. The German 88 anti-tank gun fired. The German 88 anti-tank gun shell struck meters away, shredding a stone wall. The shockwave sent the T-26 skidding.
We're hit, but engine still works. We charge. That's suicide. Better than waiting to burn.
The T-26 roared forward, grinding over wrecked Panzers, lurching toward the German 88 anti-tank gun. Kretschmann saw it coming.
Destroy it now! Fire!
The German 88 anti-tank gun swung to aim. A heartbeat passed. Alexei T-26 tank fired the last AP shell.
Direct hit!
The German 88 anti-tank gun exploded, its crew torn apart in the blast. But it was short-lived. Another Panzer tank fired a shell. The shell pierced the thin armor of T-26 tank. Fire erupted. Screams echoed. Pyotr opened the hatch of T-26 tank while it was burning.
Out! Get out!
Ilya dragged Alexei through smoke. Pyotr staggered, flames licking his uniform. The crew of T-26 tank collapsed under trees, coughing, bleeding, alive. The T-26 burned behind them, its final battle complete. The next morning, silence returned. The orchard was littered with destroyed German armor. The Panzer division had stalled long enough for Soviet reinforcements' tanks to regroup 40 kilometers east. A Soviet reconnaissance unit found the 3 men unconscious, barely breathing. They were evacuated under fire. General Ivan Bolden was briefed.
A single T-26 tank disabled 10 tanks and delayed a division by 12 hours.
He shook his head in disbelief. In a field hospital, Pyotr awoke with bandaged hands on hospital bed.
Did we hold?
You did more than that.
All 3 survived. Barely. The orchard would be nicknamed the Furnace, a place where giants fell to a relic of another war. The crew never saw their T-26 again, but they never forgot it.
She wasn't pretty, but she had a heart of fire.
In 1985, a memorial was built near Grodno. A charred T-26 turret mounted on stone, its barrel pointed west. Pyotr, now in his 60s, stood before a memorial was built near Grodno with tears in his eyes.
Weren't heroes, just men in a tank too old to matter until it did.
No one expected a T-26 to make a dent in a Panzer division, but it did. It wasn't the machine T-26 tank, it was the men inside and the will to defy fate. In the grand books of war, it was a footnote, but in the souls of those who stood their ground that day, it was a war won in steel, smoke, and sacrifice. The orchard still grows, and beneath its roots lies the memory of 3 men and the tank that refused to die quietly.